Alright, what's going on YouTube? I'm Biabinas, and I just got back from school, which is why I'm wearing pants, but I'm testing the camera saying right now to see if it's like pretty cool, because I just saw on my Twitter that the new direct for Smash will be coming tomorrow night or in the day. I don't really know because I'm from Asia, and it will be around 9 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. And you can see the new info for Terry Bogard featuring Mr. Sakurai himself. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty nervous about tomorrow's direct. Not too sure if I have the privilege to like film it and all, but hopefully I could get everything set up. So see you tomorrow. Please ignore my sister watching her show, but time check, it's 8:41. I'm a bit nervous about this. We're getting more information on Terry Bogard, but I might record the camera again once it hits 9 o'clock, so see you guys. Oh, here we go.
皆さんこんにちは。空の
Mr.
桜
Sakurai.
This is Masahiro Sakurai from Sora Limited. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game was recently honored with 5 awards at this year's Japan Game Awards.
Wow, 5 awards.
It's received a great many awards on top of that as well. Each award is very meaningful to me, so I would like to take the opportunity to extend my thanks to all those who have voted and to all those who have supported us.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Without further ado, let's begin the presentation. First, we'll start with what the Neo Geo is. It refers to a 1990 video game console for use in arcades and at home, as well as to the name of the system itself. In 1990, the equivalent to the Super NES had only just released in Japan, so if you wanted to play arcade games at home before then, the only option was to play the less polished ports on the Nintendo Entertainment System. However, with the Neo Geo system, you could play the arcade versions of games at home with no drop in quality. 1990 was right around the year that I started working for a game company. Back then, Japan had rental services for arcade games. In other words, you could go to a rental store, rent an arcade game, take it home, and play it. After that, they were sold for home use, but a single game would cost about 30,000 yen.
30,000 yen?
That's expensive. But if you think about it, compared to playing a game in the arcade 300 times at 100 yen per play, you're getting your money's worth. At the time, some people actually thought this was cheap. I mean, there really are people who played games in the Super Smash Bros. Series 1,000 or even 10,000 times. Anyway, the MBS, as it was called then, was sold in various places, and for an arcade machine, it wasn't all that expensive. You could also get them on lease. That's why you'd end up seeing lots of candy stores having a Metal Slug cabinet. The home version of the Neo Geo came with this controller. You see? It has 4 buttons. And this is the actual console itself. Here's the reset button, and here you slot in the big game cartridges. This is the Neo Geo. Just kidding. Actually, this is the Neo Geo X, the portable version that was released afterward.
That thing
You could also insert it into this docking station and play it as a home console. Beat Nintendo Switch to it.
I kinda
Portable
know about
multi-purpose
the Neo
console.
Geo from
Updated
some
iterations
YouTube
of past
videos,
systems are emblematic
but
of
this
the
is
Neo Geo.
pretty fascinating.
Next,
Alright.
let's talk about Fatal
Fatal
Fury.
Fury. Fatal Fury
It
sound.
released in 1991, the same year as Street Fighter II,
Same years.
but this one came later. It launched after Street Fighter II. Like many of the other fighters, Fatal Fury was often regarded as a title that was developed to capitalize on the popularity of Street Street Fighter 2, but that's not really the case. Actually, both Street Fighter 2 and Fatal Fury were developed using the original Street Fighter as a foundation. In fact, the development
also
of
play
Fatal Fury
arcade
was started
games
by one
like
of the
Street
planners of Street Fighter.
and also KOF.
Did I just hear you say wow?
Which,
This
by the
one's
way,
also a
I'm
multiplayer-focused fighting
predicting
game.
some new features for Terry
In the
Bogard,
story,
like his
someone named
controls
Jeff
and her
Bogard
stuff,
is killed by
the
Geese Howard.
KOF stage,
Geese Howard starts
and
up a
also
fighting
his
tournament in
costume.
Southtown,
Because
which he
I'm
runs.
thinking off
To avenge his father's death, Terry
we might
enters the
get a
tournament,
female
which is
version
known
of
as
Terry
King
from
of Fighters.
SNK Heroines. Not too
I
sure,
mentioned the
but
term King of Fighters,
see for
something you
ourselves.
may have heard before. Yes, there's actually a popular series called the King of Fighters, and that series was named
KOF.
after a fighting tournament within the world of
named
Fatal Fury.
after the tournament of Fatal Fury.
And Terry Bogard, who is the protagonist of Fatal Fury, also appears in all the games in the King of Fighters series as one of the main characters.
I kind of feel upset that Kyo isn't in
If you want to play a
Smash
game
Brothers,
from either of
but
the Fatal Fury
I
series
think
or the King
Terry
of Fighters
Bogard is
series,
a
many of them
okay
are available
looking
now
person.
on Nintendo Switch as part of the Arcade Archive series. You may not know which one to play first, but my recommendations from the Fatal Fury series would be Fatal Fury Special.
Fatal Fury special.
From the King of Fighters series, my recommendation would be
KOF
the King of
95.
Fighters 95. But if you want to play a fighting game with all sorts of strategic elements, then I recommend the
98.
King of Fighters 98.
I have some experience in King of Fighters, so
Next,
I think
I'll give you some insight
I
on
think
Terry Bogard.
some of this looks
Actually, this video was recorded about 1 month prior to its release. That's because we need to translate and edit videos like this one, and that takes time. The game footage you see here is not from the final production run, so please understand that there may be some elements that differ from the final game. Since we have the opportunity, I want to talk about Terry using a lot of SNK lingo, meaning in this discussion the younger generations may feel a little out of the loop. But there's nothing to worry about. When we released the original Nintendo 64 version of Super Smash Bros., I was often asked, who is Samus? Whether or not the character is fun to play as is more important than whether the character is new or old, or whether the character is recognizable to everyone. I want to make sure I present Terry to you in such a way that you can fully understand his appeal. So thank you. Okay, let's begin.
Alright, Terry Bogard. Challenge Pack 4. Terry.
This is Terry Bogard in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. He's still wearing an outfit that reflects the era of his original game, but we did our best to make him look cool in a variety of ways.
Vision?
And then, his up throw is grasping upper. This sort of dodge attack can be performed after a spot dodge.
Whoa.
I mentioned dodge attack, and this actually does exist. During a spot dodge, immediately press the button to counterattack. During a dodge attack, your upper body becomes invincible, so this kind of move gives you the advantage when you counterattack. Now for a special attacks.
I think the blue corner is just the songs that'll be
His
moving
neutral
in
special,
this
with
stage.
just the B button, is Power Wave.
Press B for
Depending
power
on how
wave.
long you press the buttons, you'll use one of two types of special attacks, weak and strong. This one is weak and kinda slow, and this one is strong. Fast, isn't it? For Ryu, in his original game, you used 3 buttons, so there were weak, medium, and strong attacks. For Terry Bogard, you could use 4 buttons in his original game, but there were only 2 buttons for punch, so that's why he only has 2 attack levels, weak and strong. This rule applies to all of his special attacks, so please keep that in mind. By the way, the attack Power Wave is a move that shoots energy along the ground, but how does it look in the air?
Bouncing.
In his original
Forgot.
game, you couldn't use this move in the air. This is how it looks now. As of the King of Fighters 96, the Power Wave ability had a shorter range, so we've recreated that version of the move. It's a useful move in midair and helps keep opponents in check. Next, we have a special performed while holding in the direction of your opponent, Burning Knuckles.
Burning Knuckles.
This move also has a weak and strong version, as well as a command input. Like the Hadouken command input from Street Fighter 2, you perform this command using the directional inputs, down, to the side, in the direction of your opponent.
So the
and then press the
down,
button.
down forward,
Doing so
forward,
makes the move a bit
A or
stronger.
B.
This means that Burning Knuckle has 4 variations. Weak without command input, and strong without command input. Weak with command input, and strong with command input. The strong version using the command input is of course the most powerful. You'll hear a noise when you input the command. And if you've succeeded, you might also notice some green mixed in with the flames.
Oh.
It may be slight, but there is a difference. The strong version with the command input really is
Also,
strong,
by the way,
even
I'm also
capable of
predicting
KOing
that they
opponents.
might announce a new fire
It can be
anything,
blocked,
but
however,
according from the
so be
tweets
on the
I
lookout
saw,
for that.
I don't think that's actually possible.
In such a case, you'll be left wide open. And this is a first for the Super Smash Bros. Series, but the side specials are split into 2 versions, a back special and a front special. That means there's one more side special than usual, crack shoot. This is a familiar move from his original game. There's also a command input version. It's performed by using the directional buttons down to the back, followed by the A or B button.
Down, that. Alright.
The command version
I think I
can launch your
tried
opponent quite a bit further. It creates a bit of an arc, so it can be used as an anti-air attack when your opponents try to hit you. At close range, if you happen to be blocked by a shield,
I think
it's
I
hard to be
might
counterattacked
train with this
because you'll pass through
guy,
them.
like most of the characters.
There's something I want you to remember.
I have kind of
When you do a crack shoot off screen,
or,
this is how it will look. Terry swings with his whole body
with,
using Burning Knuckle.
like I played
crack
Snatch
shoot,
earlier,
so it can be hard
and I
to
got
recover.
my butt kicked
However,
by
if you keep pressing
Lucina
backwards
Toon
without
Link
inputting commands,
just by
you
playing
should
as
be able
hit.
to initiate crack shoot in the direction you're trying to recover.
This,
Let me show you one more time.
I
Do
think
this,
Bogard might
then
be
continue to press backwards,
something interesting for me.
and then you can recover. If you press too quickly or input some commands, you'll fly right off the stage, so be careful.
Alright.
And this is his up special, Rising Tackle.
Rising Tackle.
It also has weak and strong versions, each with differing heights. And did you notice that if you hold down briefly to charge, your whole body glows a little? In this case, your whole body will be invincible at the start. Either way, your legs will be invincible. Here's an example of this invincibility in action. With the standard Rising Tackle, I got completely wiped out when I threw myself at them. But with Rising Tackle's charged command version, you can't be hit at this moment, so you come out on top.
Whoa.
You can of course use Rising Tackle
Not
as a
too
recovery
sure if
as
this
well.
guy will be my main or my second main.
Even after using
or
Burning Knuckle
secondaries
or
or
Crack Shoot,
something.
you can still use Rising Tackle.
But those moves look
This is also very
pretty
helpful
dope.
when you're trying to recover. So
Alright, final smash.
the final smash.
Final smash.
His final smash begins with triple geyser.
What?
Terry will shoot 3 geysers straight forward. However, if you think that's all, you're very mistaken. Power geyser you see here. The command input is, if I borrow the way it's said in the original game, down, angle down, side, angle down,
What?
forward.
That might be a confusing
Well, it's a
move
bit complicated.
if I'm doing
Downward,
it hours.
then backward, then forward.
Alright,
You see?
that might be confusing.
It is an action game after all, so you get to control the direction of your punch, be it right or left. In that case, no matter which direction you're going for, just swap the right input and left input.
I think I could get used
like
to those
this.
things
Downward,
because
then
I
backward,
play
then forward.
KOF
Or down,
stuff
and then the
with
opposite
arcade
direction, if that's
sticks.
forward.
The thing is like
And then there's this other super
this,
special
and
move,
this. I'm not too sure if I could do it really quick enough.
Buster Wolf. You can initiate this one by repeating the Hadouken command input twice. Down to side, then down to side again.
Down. Down, down. Alright.
It can be rather difficult to pull off moves using the original game's command inputs, but you can also use simplified command inputs. In the case of Power Geyser, remember this: down, side, down, forward. As long as you input the command downward to the side, to the back, downward again, and then forward, you should be fine. In the case of Buster Wolf, it's simply down, side, side.
I don't know if I
That
could
should be
do
easier
those
to remember.
inputs quick enough.
Even though the command input is complex, it can still be blocked with ease. Since these moves can only be used when Terry has taken a lot of damage, you'll be in even more danger if your opponent blocks. So they're high risk and high return. Please save them for when you really need to make a last-ditch effort. You can use it again and again, but be careful. Your opponent may be able to predict your move and take action. Essentially, it's best to use it when it's least expected, or to cancel out of a combo, like this. For the taunts, I decided to match his original game. His up taunt is "Hey, come on," from the King of Fighters series.
Come on!
His down taunt spins his hat like in the Real Bout series. And his side taunt is "Stand Up" from Garo, Mark of the Wolves.
I don't know what.
I've demonstrated him using various special moves in the game so far, and you can hear his voice. Like that. We've incorporated both his longer remarks, like Power Wave,
new and
from older
old
titles, and his
voice
shorter
actors.
remarks, like Block You, from newer
Or
titles.
both new and old voices. What do we even voice this guy?
And here are his color variations.
No girl
There's a
version
good
from
variety of colors
SNK
available
Heroines?
from across the series,
What the heck?
and the cat design is slightly different in each version.
However, I don't think they look
They're
too
based on
bad.
his original games, and we've also included some from the King of Fighters 14 and the anime series.
There are also costumes from KOF14 and the anime.
He sometimes takes off his cap too. For example, it happens during his victory pose. His cap also blows away when he is defeated in stamina mode.
Alright. KOF Stadium.
The stage is called King of Fighters Stadium.
Am I literally
like a
hearing
hardcore
King of
fighting
Fighters
hall
14 music?
The text above the Jumbotron
That's
reads,
so
King
cool.
of Fighters, without the. When we talk about a game title,
Whoa.
we need the up front, but the name of the tournament in the game's story is just King of Fighters. This is a very unique stage, and it follows some rules that haven't existed in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate before. First, the edge is walled off. In the Super Smash Bros. Series, you need to launch opponents off the stage. Here, however, the more damage a fighter has accumulated, the more the wall will visually react when they're launched into it. Can you see? Eventually, fighters will break right through the wall.
You can actually
There are
smack
fireworks
the
in the back
wall. That's really
Basically, this special feature allows you to
Really
KO an
impressive.
opponent only after they've accumulated enough damage. That way, you can enjoy the battle more like you would in a traditional fighting game. When you're close to the wall,
I almost, man,
it's possible
this
to
is almost
KO
giving me
even when
some
your damage is low.
reckless
It's just
gamer
like in regular
2.0
stages.
vibes.
In the Real Bout Fatal
Oh,
Fury
something
series,
else,
there was a
sure.
feature in which the walls could be destroyed and players could suffer a ring out when they hit the
mean,
wall.
About what I said.
This isn't exactly the
It's
same,
kinda like
but we
that
made it kind of similar
minus
to that.
I am summoning.
We hope you'll
and
enjoy
that's,
playing at this
everything.
stage with all its special
So you have to
rules.
watch, which, yeah, I saw scenes from it.
By the way, there are guest characters in the background, right? Since we have the opportunity, I'd like to introduce them to you.
Alright. Camios.
First up, Andy Bogard. He's
Andy.
the adoptive brother of Terry Bogard. Both of them were adopted from an orphanage and raised by Jeff Bogard. However, while Terry's teacher was Jeff Bogard, Andy studied under Mai Shiranui's father. He uses the Koppoken fighting style. Joe Higashi. He's one of the three main characters from earlier games in the Fatal Fury series. He's the only one that doesn't have any connection to Geese Howard. He's a Muay Thai champion. Tung Fu Ru. He's the master of the Holy Fist of 8 Ways.
I think I know
and he
this guy
also
from
trained
KI
Jeff Bogard. He can enlarge his body as well. Billy Kane. He's been in many Fatal Fury games since the first one, and he's the right-hand man of Geese Howard.
Alright.
While he appears in the first game, his costume is based on his appearances in King of Fighters 97 onwards. You can't really see his back, but the no smoking symbol is definitely there. Geese Howard.
Geese.
He's the big boss of Southtown.
The
He's the
person
rival of
from
Terry
Tekken.
Bogard. Falling off of buildings is his thing. Rock Howard.
Rock.
His first appearance was Garo, Mark of the Wolves. He's the son of Geese Howard, and Terry.
I think I heard about that game.
That means his appearance in this game at this age with that look doesn't really jive with the timeline. But Smash is kind of like that to begin with, right? Kim Kapwan. He uses Taekwondo and considers himself a fighter for justice. His Ho'okaku is very famous. Yuji Yamazaki. His first appearance was in Fatal Fury 3, and he's a criminal known as Dark Broker. He's very selfish and sadistic. Blue Mary. Her first appearance was in Fatal Fury 3 too. She uses combat sambo, and she's a good drinking buddy of Terry's. Those were the characters from the Fatal Fury series, but from here on, let me introduce characters from other series. Athena Asamiya. She's a Psycho Soldier. Psycho Soldier is a memorable game released around 1986, and it was the first title to feature a fully voiced theme song within the game. This epic song was also remixed for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it was recorded in both Japanese and English. Music start. Kyo Kusanagi. He's the protagonist of the King of Fighters series, and he uses the ancient
How
martial
dare
arts of
this
Kusanagi.
guy didn't even make it to Smash?
There were
I mean, it's
differences
fine
depending on
if he's
which
just a
version you're
backstage
talking
character,
about,
but
like Orochi and Ness.
still, why can't we have this man instead of
Anyway,
Terry?
he's forever a school kid. Iori Yagami.
Iori.
Originally, he was introduced as Kyo Kusanagi's rival, but when I first saw this character in the game at the time, due to his look and attitude, I thought, whoever created this character must be a genius. Goro Daimon.
Goro.
He's a judo gold medalist belonging to the Japanese team, and he likes to throw his opponents. Chang Hohen and Choi Bonge. One is an escaped convict, and the other is a slasher. They are currently undergoing rehabilitation under the previously mentioned Kim Kapwa. Ralph Jones and Clark Still.
Wow.
Originally, they were main characters in the Ikari Warriors series before Neo Geo. They appeared as guests in the Metal Slug series too. Ryo Sakazaki, the protagonist of Art of Fighting. The original Art of Fighting was released just before Fatal Fury 2. That means it was the first game to implement a true super special move. How could I not include him? King. Her first appearance was in Art of Fighting, and she's a bouncer and body. So, as you can see, we've included many characters. A total of 20 characters.
20!
You know, it's very cumbersome. I mean, it takes a lot of time. But so many people love each and every one of these characters, even outside the confines of their individual series, so we simply had to do our best by them. By the way, you may have noticed that a very important character from the Fatal Fury series was not included. Yes, Mai Shiranu. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is for good boys and girls of many different ages, so we decided not to feature her. Please forgive us. Also,
I mean,
my music features a variety
wondering
of tracks,
why
and the music that plays affects which special guest.
Smash isn't really for everyone. However, most people play
For example, there's a track called Pasta, and when the music is playing, Andy Bogard will always appear. I hope you look forward to that as well.
Alright. Let's see him in action.
Okay, I'm done providing information, so now let's jump into some actual battles. This time, I'm going to play the Terry route of Classic mode. On top of that, I want to try and hit the highest intensity level. Let's see if I can get all the way up to intensity 9.9. Honestly, playing the game in extreme difficulty while doing commentary is extremely hard. One or the other is doable, but doing both at once forces me to divide my attention. But that means I should do my best at both. Do my best. First, This route is named the King of Smash. 3 characters who have some sort of connection will appear as a set, a challenge that looks somehow familiar. Okay, the first intensity level is 5.0, so that should be fine. All battles in Terry's route are stamina battles. This stage's special KO rule that I talked about earlier isn't the best match for stamina rules, but oh well. On his route, a lot of stages feel like they're from a traditional fighting game.
So I had to fight
I did it anyway.
each character in stamina.
Of course, even in this mode,
Where
it's
the-
not impossible
I'm wondering
for you
what
to try for
the
KO,
modes
but
they-
normally it'll be over before that. There.
I'm wondering
Done.
where the modes will be in version 6 updates.
Looks like he's saying, give me something. Next, round 2. It's the Legend of Zelda team. Just because characters are in a team because of their similarities, that doesn't mean that they have to be from the same game.
Huh.
This is
So they
Let's
had
Go
to be
Seoul,
from
King
different
Cup
game
1 Steve.
series.
And I've got it set up so that we don't move from the bottom of Prison Tower.
Whoa.
It would be easiest to simply knock him off the screen, but I'm not going to do that, because it's not as fun to watch.
Literally Sakurai.
Oops, I knocked him off. Over here. It's gonna blow. Will he do it?
Whoa. Jesus.
Alright. The boomerang's not
Zelda
coming back.
down.
I
Alright.
can't go to the edge. Oh no!
I think he's about to.
The tables have turned.
Oh man. Ooh.
Cancelled it.
Not
He
bad.
wears his cap backward when he does a power down. Now you can call this the giant stage.
Okay,
All the giants are
Wolf.
Of course, the
Bowser
music track is
and
Taku and Stephanie. Of course, he says. You might wonder who Taku and Stephanie are. But it seems like it means Tanaka and Kitamura. This track is from Fatal Fury 2. There's a giant wrestler named Big Bear, and this is his track. Regardless of the track name, it's a really famous hard rock song, so please give it a listen. The original song was called Yusha Daiden. There's that masked wrestler. Big Bear is his true identity. He's called Raiden.
He was about to get off the stage, but he KO'd the.
I'm beginning to find the intensity quite tough.
Alright.
Round 4. The whole atmosphere is a little different than how it's been up until now, right? We've been to arena-style flat stages, but suddenly we're at a battlefield form stage. Oh, there's an item. There's an arcade game series called Athena, and this stage uses that as a motif.
I don't know how long we have to watch him play through this, but give us a release day already.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I suppose both Lady
If it's like
Palutena and the Athena games
player
are possibly an homage to the
after
Athena
or
Greek
next
mythology.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Plus, I wanted to do something where two characters that are similar or have similar abilities are together. It's a nice Kokugenryu team.
Oh sh.
If I let my guard down, I'll easily get defeated, so I need to pay attention. Not bad, dude.
We don't want any
By the
items
way,
for.
You can use moves like Crack Shoot to aim for overhead platforms, so they have some utility to them.
Whoa.
I kept her in check. Phew, that was close. Looks like that firebar didn't work out for her.
games.
It's getting brutal. The intensity is close to 8. You could say the opposing team is comprised of heroes from different companies. Sonic and Terry are on the stage. Actually, Sonic and Terry were both created in 91, so they're the same age.
Sonic.
And the next year, in 92, Kirby was born. Everyone's getting old. But they're still on active duty.
Darn right we're getting old.
You know, it's easier to fight on sloped ground. When using track shoot, it's especially easy going uphill. Yikes. It's too soon to be taking this much damage. I started out with 150 HP, so I feel like I'm losing. Next, Mega Man. He was born in 87. The first Street Fighter came out in 87 as well, so that makes Ryu the same age. That was bad. Don't go off screen. He went off. I'm sorry. And now, Pac-Man from 1980 is here.
Not the Pac-Man.
Of course, this character was made by Bandai Namco Studios, but when I talk to their team, I'll call him your company's character. They always come back saying, oh yeah, our company's character.
Is that how they got to development for Pac-Man in the previous
that was close.
game?
But I won't give in until the very end.
He's about to
I
die.
have a super special move. How was that? Not enough? I see. Well, how about now? It's bad to keep using the same move. Seriously. Next, you could call this Team Darkness.
Team Darkness.
With the track Soy Sauce for Geese playing on the rooftop, it's got the aura of a final showdown. Oh, not good. Up next is Ganondorf. I don't want to get hit by him, not even once. He's huge.
Like the one time I played Ganondorf and I almost got my butt whipped. Like, literally, most online Ganondorf players are like so irritating. I think I tried Ganondorf in World of Light, but still, if any of you really want to battle me one-on-one with Ganondorf,
now for a scary one.
Comment below. Bayonetta. Really, Bayo?
Yep, I'm giving this everything I've got.
Oh man,
that was just dangerous. Pulling off that mid-air jump was risky.
I'll try to control this guy.
Uh-oh. She's so good. That was a beautiful move. But she couldn't take advantage of that opportunity. That would cost her a lot. Time for the final battle. It's not Master Hand, but Ryu, Ken, and then Terry. Art of Fighting version 230000000.0 is playing. In other words, it's kind of a themed fight. He's super strong, so I have to work hard.
I don't know which content I should go for the most. Like,
I'm starting from 150 HP, so I wish I defeated Ryu before my HP dropped to 100. But I can't give up until the end. I have a super special move. But Terry is last, so he can use the same super special move. But this is no time for chit-chat. It's really tough to
I think most of the fighters and classic modes found stage could be Master Hand, Rathalos.
This is no good. Got it. It gets even tougher from here.
Now for Terry duos.
Here he comes. I gotta be on guard. Yeah, but with a power wave?
The people
at
the background!
That would have been awesome. But, alright, did I make it to intensity 9.9? Yes, I did. That was hard work. Terry Bogard is really fun to play as, so I hope you enjoy playing as him in such situations.
Song collection.
Next, let's talk about the music. This time we have something very
A
special
song
lined
from
up for you.
KOF 14. Alright.
For instance, when we were deciding which songs to include in this set, we thought about concentrating on songs related to Terry, but there were a lot of big band style songs that didn't really fit the mood of battle. That aside, the music of SNK has always been great, right from the beginning. So this time, we selected tracks that could be called SNK style. Basically, we expanded the selection a bit to include series outside of just Fatal Fury and the King of Fighters. SNK songs have always been great, really. This was true before Neo Geo, and all the way from the old The King of Fighters games to the arrangements in the latest installment, The King of Fighters 14.
Check its neck 86 right now.
We did a lot of digging around, and finally managed to narrow our many candidates down to 50 songs.
50 songs.
We never intended to do something like this, of course. So we submitted our 50 proposals to SNK, expecting them to pick out maybe 10 or 20 that they considered acceptable. But they told us they were okay. As a result, we've pretty much added in 50 songs. Have a look at the list.
Whoa, that's a lot. Bunch from
That's how we ended up with the list we have, but we worked hard to deliver some of the best remixes.
That's one of them.
This was a very special one-off case, and I don't think we'll be able to do the same for other series. To be honest, I think that being able to hear such a selection might make the Fighter's Pass worth quite a bit more than its price. I do hope you'll enjoy it. Challenger Pack 4 comes with a Spirit Board too.
Spirit board.
The Spirit Board can be selected via the Spirits menu. Have a look at the background. If it looks familiar to you, you'll start feeling pretty nostalgic. Shinkiro-san's artwork is always so nice and vibrant, isn't it? You can also look forward to mock tournaments featuring each of the characters. That old school Athena and Ralph and Clark artwork really is something.
Were there Hope Spirits before, or I can't recall.
Now for the Mii Fighters. Please have a look.
He fires. Alright. So we have. Probably put my sisters to sleep. Samurai Showdown. Sapporo. Alright. Sword Fighter. Fighters. Iori. Mortal Fire. The Akira suit from Smash 4 back. They fine. And the Jackie costume. Wait, what? They're available already? That's today.
SNK was also involved with the Mii Fighter set this time, so it has a strong fighting game influence. It borrows a lot from the series Nakoruru comes from, like her wind slash attack, so I hope you'll enjoy those little details. Moving on to Amiibo, here's the new lineup.
Yo, Simon, Crom, and Cinnawar. November 15th, that's the same day as Sword Shield. March 6th. Alright.
Next, let's discuss the details of the updates. We've made some improvements to battle arenas.
Alright.
First, we're making it so you can send messages to each other in a battle arena. The messages are preset. So there's that, and also the player who created the arena can now change the rules.
Whoa.
We've also added the option to play either Battlefield form or Omega form at random in the stage settings. Aside from that, you can now pick Elite only as an arena type.
Only.
Furthermore, quick play won't be the only way to play with people you don't know. As long as the arena type is set to public and no password is set, we've made it so anyone is now free to join. So I hope you'll enjoy that. Terry is due for distribution on November 6th.
What
If you have
today?
the fighter's pass, you'll be able to get him straight
No
away, or
way!
you can purchase him separately.
What?
Well, I think that wraps it up for our Terry Bogard showcase.
Alright, I have to stop right there. And what Sakurai just said? Why on earth would they release it today? Or tonight? I don't know if I could really be talking like this because my sister's asleep, but Jesus Christ, I'm freaking out. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe. See you guys on my next video.